Today we're going to be reviewing the Dead Air Nomad tie, but before we get started, here's kind of a grown-up dad joke. Titanium was cornered in a bar by iron and argon. And later, when he was telling the story, they asked Titanium, well, were you afraid? And he said, no. The only thing to fear is fear itself. All right, that's the best Titanium joke I could find. There was some other ones that were probably inappropriate, but that's the best I could do. So anyways, hope you had just a little bit of a chuckle if you remember 10th grade science class. My name is Dave Tim from Guns and Tactics. Thank you guys very much for spending a few minutes of your day checking out this video with me. Today we are reviewing, like I said, the Dead Air Nomad tie 30 cal suppressor. And I have to say, this thing is just awesome. Right up front, very happy with it, very happy with my purchase, the performance, the sound, the tone, just really happy and love this can. I am very happy to add it to my collection. Now, first things first, my relationship with Dead Air. I don't have a relationship with Dead Air. The only thing I was given was basically early access because I have an SOT. It works out, they're able to send it directly to me so I could actually do the review, but I didn't receive it for free. They're not paying me to make this video. You're going to hear my opinion. That being said, I do really like it. Now, I also do want to point out that I don't have one of those fancy noise meters. I did try using a phone app, but unfortunately, I just wasn't getting very good data or consistent data, so I think the app or my phone is not the best hardware, obviously, to use in that. But I do want to say, I did take this to an LA sniper class, and not only was I impressed, but some of the instructor, actually all of the instructors, as well as the students, were also impressed with how well it sounded. Not only just volume and how loud it was, but the tone was very pleasant as well. Now, I did still wear ear pro at the class because a lot of other shooters weren't shooting suppressed. However, when it was time to do individual drills, yeah, we popped off ear pro just to kind of see how it sounded, to see if this would be realistic to use in the real world without ear pro, and it was very comfortable. Good tone, good sound. I had no ear ringing, no discomfort, anything like that. I don't know if it is truly technically hearing safe, because that can obviously be a little subjective depending on your ammunition, if you're shooting indoors, all that kind of stuff. But I will definitely say I would have no problem shooting this rig with no ear pro in this can. It was very comfortable.
Dave, why don't you take your ears off if you want? I won't shoot these other guys. Do you want to hear that can?
Oh.
Yeah. 5 o'clock of the red box right then, you touch the red box. Okay, that was 11 o'clock, about a half-inch high on the red box.
Now, a little bit about the experience with the can. Right now, to date, I have about 600 rounds of .308 through this can and this rifle. First thing I did when I got the rifle back from the gunsmith with the new barrel was I did, just kind of confirm, making sure everything was shooting good. And this rifle was printing right around half-inch, just slightly larger groups at 100 yards, just to make sure everything was working good. Threw the suppressor on, and zero change was very minimal. It was like maybe one click. So much so that I didn't even really notice it. And when I went to class and kind of re-zeroed and confirmed, it was pretty much right on the money. So there was minimal shift, and accuracy did not change at all. It was still shooting right around that half-inch plus, give or take. And in fact, I think towards the end of class, it kind of settled in a little bit. Now, I'm going to say I'm maybe capable of shooting half-inch groups somewhat consistently at 100 yards. I'm not the world's best shooter, but if I have a good rifle, I feel pretty confident that I can hopefully exploit that accuracy. But I was able to get those groups relatively consistent throughout class when we were doing zeroing sessions or like modified FBI quals, things like that. I was really happy with the performance of the rifle, and obviously the can did not change that. Now, we shot this thing outside at night. Flash was very good. In fact, I am showing you a couple of night clips now of the minimal flash, because obviously with a sound suppressor, That's the main focus of a silencer. Everyone's always worried about that, but I also look at how does it suppress flash as well, and this did a really good job with that. I let other people shoot it at night just so I can kind of get an idea, and I was really impressed, especially compared to those that were shooting bare muzzle guns or comps and brakes and stuff like that. Again, sound, super impressed. It just shot really, really well. Now, I did notice a couple of things. Number one is the front cap did come loose a little bit one time, so I would highly recommend having a front cap tool. These do not come with the suppressor, but having one of these in your toolkit or bag or whatever probably isn't a bad thing to have. The other thing is that I did notice, of course, shooting suppressed for the whole class, that the gun did get a little dirty. And I did have some gunk get back into the action after, I want to say, like day 3. So it just required some cleaning just to make sure everything was running good. But overall, not very many issues itself. Now, as far as specs go, it is an amazing can. Obviously, everyone is always going to worry about, size and weight. 6.5 inches, 1.735, 9.6 ounces, fully welded titanium, and it comes in this raw finish. MSRP is $1,099, and it's rated up to 300 Norma Mag. For full specs, as always, make sure you check out the manufacturer's webpage. Search online for Dead Air Nomad Tie, and that'll take you to Dead Air's page. You can get the full specs, ratings, ballistic capabilities, all that stuff. I don't want to waste all that time with the video here, but you can check that out. Now, this is not what you're going to be using for like full auto guns, mag dump, stuff like that. This was really designed for the PRS game, and in my opinion, it works great. And simplicity, I just have it with a direct thread mount. Speaking of the direct thread mount, it does come with the direct thread mount 5/8/24, which is really common for your larger centerfire rifles. So here is the direct thread adapter. These are also available in different sizes as well. If you don't want the direct thread adapter, the can itself is threaded with what's called Bravo style threads, which are 1.375 inches by 24 threads. Why that is really cool is because that opens up even more options as far as quick detach or aftermarket support. It is compatible with their Chemo system, or it is also available for the new Xeno system as well. The Xeno is their threaded taper mount, which is a little lighter weight, a little simpler than the Chemo. Their Chemo mount is absolutely rock solid bomb-proof, uses all of the Chemo compatible muzzle devices, brakes, flash hiders, things like that. I run that on my ARs, absolutely love it. The Chemo adapter obviously would add a little bit of length and weight, so that is something to consider versus keeping it lightweight with the direct thread. There are some aftermarket options as well from other companies that basically you thread out this, you insert that, go from there. The direct thread adapter just threads off like that, and then you have the threads in. You can kind of see inside how dirty it is, but that's all right. It's here to get used. Now, one of the trade-offs that you are going to have to deal with titanium is fighting the heat. Because it is a lightweight material and it's still really strong, the titanium, the kind of the give and the take is this is generally going to be something that you're not going to be doing high rates of fire with. For sure, no full auto, semi-auto, and then even then it's recommended after some strings of fire to let it cool down. That's just kind of one of the trade-offs with lightweight titanium versus some of the other materials like in the Nomad 30 or the Sandman series. They're a little more durable cans, but you still get the same design features from the Nomad 30 in the Nomad tie, where you can actually see that the baffles are welded together to make up the tube, and you get a great tone. I didn't really notice any significant first round pop issues, and again, you also have the accessories. You could add their e-brake system, you could add different front caps, and we already talked about the mounting options previously. Now, one of the other things that I like with Dead Air in general is in the box, they really kind of prepare you well. It came with this cool case, which is a cigar style case. So if you're looking to transport or present it, it's going to be very well protected. The downside is it's a little bit bulkier for the case, so something to consider. But then it does come with the 2 spanner wrenches, so you can swap your mounting options. You can snug it up on your gun so it doesn't come loose or anything like that. So you're well taken care of there. And like I said, the only thing to add is maybe a front cap tool just to kind of snug that down, which I already had because I own Sandman. How the Nomad tie compares to the other direct thread rifle can that I have. I don't have a ton of the other ones. I realize the market is good right now, but I do have a Gemtech tracker here. Now what's important is The measurements that in my opinion count is obviously length and weight, and the Nomad tie is not only shorter, but it is also lighter. Now it is a little bit larger in diameter, but that's not something you're generally going to notice carrying a rifle around. The other thing that I will say, what's great about the Dead Air family and system of products is how well everything works together, like we talked about mounts and caps and stuff. Whereas with the Tracker, the front cap is removable, so yes, you can, I'm sure, you get different front caps, but as far as the direct thread mount, that's what it is. There's no Q detach option, quick detach option, there's no mounting options, it's just direct thread, which is what it was designed for. And this isn't a bad can, but the Nomad tie sounds way better. It's a little quieter and it just has a more subtle tone, and that's kind of subjective, I realize, but if I had to pick between the two, I'm taking the Nomad tie every time, absolutely every time. Now, if there's one thing that I did notice shooting the can, is that is mirage. After about 4 or 5 rounds, you could start to see some mirage. So obviously a suppressor cover would cure that. Additionally, the one thing that I did get made fun of a little bit for at class, we didn't do any concealment type stuff, I just wanted to kind of run the gear, is that everyone said like, yeah, you got that, soda can on the end because it does have the raw titanium finish. I would personally like it if it came in, a finish, but again, a suppressor cover, heck, even a little bit of high heat Krylon or something could cure that if you wanted to. But for PRS, competition shooting, hunting for most of the time, the finish is not going to be that big of a deal. But one thing I will be adding for sure is a suppressor cover, especially if I was going to be using it, kind of in that tactical, arena. Now, if you're looking for something that's maybe just a little bit quieter and you're okay with a little extra length, Dead Air did come out with the Nomad LT, which is a Silencer Shop exclusive. Now, it does add a little bit of length, so it's 8.4 inches and 12.6 ounces for that model compared to this one. So a little heavier, a little longer, and it's not as 100% titanium, but that would be another option as well. So if you're looking at this thinking, man, maybe if I could get something a little quieter, more like the Nomad L, well then that LT might be an option. But if you're looking for an amazing sounding, good quality can for your bolt gun, precision rifle, you want it lightweight, I barely even noticed it was there. I really am happy with the Nomad tie. I really like it. When I got this in, like I said, I had to buy it, but it's one of those things that I was immediately greeted with quality, the presentation of the product, and then just shooting it. I am really digging it, and I'm gonna definitely add a cover like I talked about earlier, but this thing is going to be a staple in my rifle setup to come, and you're going to see this in future videos on various guns. If you guys are interested in ordering one for yourself, MSRP is $10.99, so yes, I know it's not cheap. On top of that, you have your tax stamp, trust fees, all that other stuff that might come with it. However, quality and performance generally is not cheap, and you're getting a very high quality suppressor. I would highly recommend this can. I'm going to be keeping it. Like I said, I really enjoy shooting it, and I'm very glad to have it as a part of my collection. You can search online for Dead Air Nomad tie. That'll bring up various dealers. Otherwise, you can also reach out to your local suppressor dealer, their SOT, and they can order it from all the distributors and get it for you as well. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to sound off in the comment section below. Otherwise, you can always send us an email. Speaking of emails, at the end of every month, we do have a QA series where we answer your questions. That email address is shown below, and you can also send just general questions type stuff there too. But if you want it to be on the QA episode at the end of the month, send it to that email, the QA@gunsandtactics.com. I do my best to read all comments and stuff, but email is best. If you guys like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate your help in growing the channel and outlets. And as always, if there is anything we can do, let us know. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great day.